Welcome to It's All a Little Weird, the podcast. I'm your host, Adam, and if you're someone who finds themselves drawn to the unexplained, the mysterious, and maybe just the downright bizarre, then you've landed in the right place. Join me on this journey as we dive headfirst into the realms of paranormal phenomena, UFO encounters, cryptozoology curiosities, and a whole smorgasbord of strange mysteries that'll leave you scratching your head and questioning reality. This isn't your typical podcast where we're all buttoned up and serious. Oh no, here it's all a little bit kicked back. We share stories and we're delving into the weirdness with a sense of curiosity and almost a little bit of humour. So grab your favourite drink, get yourself comfy, turn off the lights, and let's embark on this wild ride together. After all, this world, it's all a little weird. Before we get started with today's episode, I do want to say that these podcasts are a little bit more free-flowing and a little bit unedited, so they're not as polished and they're not as crisp, and I will get things wrong. I do know that a few people like to pull me up in the comments for my mispronunciation, but there will be a little bit. So before I ramble on too much, we will get into today's episode, which is the mystery of the 6 DB Coopers. On the chilly afternoon of November the 24th, 1971, in Portland, Oregon, a man of nondescript appearance approached the counter of Northwest Orient Airlines. Introducing himself simply as Dan Cooper, with cash in hand, he purchased a one-way ticket for Flight 305, destined for Seattle, Washington. Little did anyone know that this seemingly ordinary transaction would mark the beginning of one of the FBI's most enduring unsolved mysteries. Dan Cooper, a reserved individual, appearing to be in his late to mid-40s, donned a business suit, accessorized with a black tie and crisp white shirt. As the flight awaited departure, he calmly sat down and ordered a bourbon and soda. That's my kind of flight drink. I'd sit there with one of those, blending into the routine air travel. However, the assuming facade, whatever you want to pronounce it, would soon give way to a startling revelation. Shortly after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Cooper passed a note to a stewardess, calm as a cucumber, revealing the presence of a bomb concealed within his briefcase, and instructing her to take a seat beside him. The stewardess, understandably shocked by the gravity of the situation, complied with his demand. Opening his bag, Cooper revealed to the stewardess a glimpse of what appeared to be a menacing tangle of wires and red sticks. Heightened the sense of urgency, he instructed her to transcribe his demands, holding the safety and life of those on board in the balance. With a mixture of fear and resolve, the stewardess delivered Cooper's written ultimatum to the captain of the aircraft. The note demanded 4 parachutes and a staggering sum of, obviously it's 1971, the staggering sum of $200,000 in $20 bills, setting into motion a high-stakes negotiation that would absolutely captivate the nation and baffle law enforcement for years to come. As the flight touched down in Seattle, the hijacker, now identified as Dan Cooper, orchestrated a daring exchange. This was absolutely incredible. He released the 36 passengers in exchange for the requested parachutes and the hefty ransom of $200,000. However, Cooper retained several crew members as hostages, maintaining control over the situation. This man, as cool and calculated as he was completely in control. Once the exchange was complete, the plane took off again, following Cooper's instructions to set a course for Mexico City. But the saga took an astonishing turn somewhere between Seattle and Reno, a little after 8 p.m. Cooper executed a remarkable feat. He parachuted out of the back of the plane with the ransom money in hand. This man, this unassuming, business suit-dressed man, did a mission impossible. Despite the pilot's safely landing the aircraft, Cooper vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of questions and speculation. His daring escape and subsequent disappearance would go on to become one of the most enduring mysteries in FBI history. Upon learning of the in-flight hijacking, the FBI launched an extensive investigation codenamed NORJAK, Norjak, short for Northwest Hijacking. I don't understand how NORJAK becomes Northwest Hijacking, but it kind of does. Over the years that followed, hundreds of individuals were interviewed, leads were pursued across the nation, and the aircraft itself was meticulously examined for evidence. By the 5th anniversary of the hijacking, the FBI had scrutinised over 800 suspects, narrowing down the list to just 24 individuals. Yet despite their relentless efforts, the ultimate fate and identity of Dan Cooper remained elusive, and it was shrouded, literally shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Despite the extensive investigation and numerous suspects considered, one individual from the list, Richard Floyd McCoy, emerged as a prominent candidate. McCoy had been arrested for a strikingly similar airplane hijacking and parachute escape less than 5 months after Cooper's infamous fight. However, McCoy was eventually ruled out as a suspect due to discrepancies in the physical descriptions provided by the flight attendants and other compelling reasons. One of the most curious things was the fate of Cooper following his daring jump from the plane. It remains a subject of speculation. The parachute he utilised lacked steering capabilities. It was one of those you just throw over your shoulder and go. It didn't have the pulley strings. That's the way I'm going to easily explain it. His attire and footwear was ill-suited for a rough landing, and he descended into a wooded area at night. A hazardous endeavour, even for the most experienced of parachutists, which Cooper appeared not to be. This theory gained traction in 1980 when a young boy stumbled upon a decaying package containing $20 bills, totaling the exact number of $5,800, matching the serial numbers of the ransom monies. The origin of the moniker DB Cooper was revealed to be a fabrication of the press. Despite the pursuit of individuals with matching initials, none turned out to be the elusive hijacker. The legend of DB Cooper has endured as one of aviation's most mesmerising unsolved mysteries, paralleling the intrigue surrounding the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Since November 24th, 1971, when he boarded the Northwest Orient flight, there's been lots of clues and lots of half-truths and the tantalising clues left behind. This included Cooper's discarded tie. The truth behind his identity has never been, even to today, after doing the research for this video, I don't think anyone has even come close. But now a potential breakthrough has emerged, as reported by the US Sun. A man claims to hold the key to unlocking the mystery of DB Cooper's true identity. Shockingly, he asserts his own mother confessed to him, revealing the long-guarded secret behind one of the most notorious criminal acts in aviation history. This one boils down to a name that we have already heard. Richard Rick McCoy, but this is Richard Rick McCoy III, isn't making the claim that his mother was the daring skyjacker who was leaped from the plane. Instead, he asserts the mystery man behind the famous DB Cooper is actually his father, which was the Richard Floyd McCoy, a Vietnam veteran and experienced skydiver. According to The Sun, it was his mother, Karen McCoy, who played a role as his father's accomplice. Allegedly, in a series of candid revelations, Karen McCoy disclosed to her children that she was involved in orchestrating not just one, but two of the most audacious skyjackings in history, admitting that she, I'm doing air quotes here, but it makes no difference, helped plan both heists. Of course, only one heist was ever attributed to DB Cooper, who actually called himself Dan Cooper, according to biography. The other crime that Rick McCoy references has unequivocally been credited to his dad, Richard. Unlike Cooper's unsolved caper, Richard McCoy's skyjacking on April the 7th, 1972 led to his quick capture just 3 days later. After his arrest, Richard was sentenced to 45 years in prison, but escaped after 2 and was killed in 1974 in a shootout with cops in Virginia. According to their report, Rick has been provided DNA evidence to the FBI in hopes of finally resolving the long-standing mystery of D.B. Cooper's identity. Rick has previously refrained from collaborating with the Bureau, choosing to wait until after his mother's death in December 2020. So that should solve it, right? But since law enforcement seemingly has a Cooper confession, that means we can answer the question, what happened to D.B. Cooper with "we shot him 52 years ago, case closed"? While Richard McCoy's alleged confession adds a new twist to the enduring mystery of D.B. Cooper, it essentially it bursts open a further bag of worms. It's essential to approach this claim with caution. Despite providing DNA evidence to the FBI, the validity of his assertion hinge on thorough investigation and scrutiny. Because this is not the first time someone has come forward with a supposed confirmation of Cooper's identity. Since the infamous Thanksgiving Eve hijacking in 1971, numerous individuals have stepped forward, claiming to be or have knowledge of the real D.B. Cooper. However, none of these claims have either been definitively proven, underscoring the complexity of unraveling this enigmatic case. The true identity and fate of D.B. Cooper remains elusive. It's shrouded in mystery and speculation until compelling evidence emerges to collaborate. See, I told you it's unedited. To collaborate Richard McCoy's assertion. The case of the legendary skydiver will continue to captivate the imagination of the public and confound law enforcement alike. As the years have passed since the infamous Norjack heist, the questions to unravel the mystery of D.B. Cooper's identity has led to numerous individuals claiming to be the elusive skyjacker. While their confessions have been added layers of complexity to this case, the truth behind their claims remains uncertain. There are 6 individuals who emerged as possible D.B. Coopers, each adding a new twist to the enduring mystery. But that part of the mystery we are going to cover in part 2, which will be released next week. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, please let me know with a rate or a review. That was the beginning of the case of D.B. Cooper. In the next episode, we're going to cover the 6 truly potential characters who could actually be the real DB. Thanks for tuning into another episode of It's All a Little Weird. I hope you've enjoyed exploring the strange and unusual with me today. Remember, the world is full of mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. So keep your eyes open and your mind curious. If you've got a spooky encounter, a UFO sighting, or a cryptid tale of your own, I'd love to hear it. So drop me a line on the email attached or hit me up on social media. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It helps other curious minds find their way to us. Until next time, stay weird, stay wonderful, and keep questioning everything. This is Adam, signing off.